Hey everybody, and welcome to Oral Exposure. I'm Wes, and that's X.
How you guys doing?
I don't care how they're doing.
You've
I
given
only
up on
care about
life.
me right now.
Why? What's on your mind, my friend?
Oh, what's not on my mind at this moment, X?
Tell me your
There's a
woes,
lot.
young one.
Ooh. Well, we're going to be talking about the town hall meetup with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
As the video title says,
Mm-hmm.
Trump's very bad, no good town hall session.
Yep.
There were some. I will preface this by saying there were some okay moments where
Mm-hmm.
he kind of, sort of salvaged things.
Yeah, definitely.
But
But I was waiting for that. I was like, where's the big fat butt?
the
Yeah.
majority, like 90%, 90%, like about
Mm-hmm.
90%,
Yeah. About
was really
90% of
bad.
it.
It's
90%, guys. You don't even
pretty
know.
fucking bad.
Yeah.
First thing I want to talk to you about, X,
Mm-hmm.
tonight is how fucking bad that audio was.
Uh,
That was frustrating me quite a lot.
uh,
I was really mad at the beginning, and I don't think they fixed it. I think I just got used to it.
Yeah, I definitely did. Here's the thing. I didn't think it was their fault. I thought I was using my Bluetooth headphones the whole time, and I thought it was on my end. So apparently it's not. So everyone was hearing this. I guess it was okay, but you think NBC, like it's a pretty huge network. You think they'd have better audio quality than we do, but I
It,
don't think they
it,
did.
it, it sounded like a fucking golf game.
Oh, did
And
it?
I guess a little bit of that comes with being outside, but
Hmm.
still, it was very awkward a lot of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Well, at the very beginning, again, like I said, I got used to it.
Hmm.
Before I get into the first question here, I have to brew up here.
Oh,
Um,
oh, yeah. Open up a cold one with the boys. Why didn't you tell me you were gonna do this? I would have. I only have water, like a
I didn't
fucking
want to do
nerd.
that to you.
Like, I'll work tomorrow.
Um,
So do you,
anyway,
right?
so do I.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I don't care.
But you need it. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
So, thoughts on the town hall event in general?
Okay.
X.
Well, first
What was your overall
impressions.
grasp?
Yeah, Trump is he's kind of screwed. He's running out of time because with every public appearance, Trump needs to do way more than good or okay to do it. And tonight was far from okay. Like it was straight up bad, and it's not all his fault either. But by comparison, Biden had a very pleasant, very like respectful night where a lot of people just asked him questions, and he talked a lot about his own stuff. I mean, it's not good. It's not really that great from what I hear. Apparently, there's not like too much solid stuff, but at least he was able to talk about himself and his plans. Trump spent the whole night defending himself, and he never had a chance to talk about the things he want to do. Like the reason you should get somebody to do
Yeah.
4 more years partly is what is he going to do in the next 4 more years. But while Biden had an opportunity to say that eloquently, Trump was just defending his past action from these 4 years, which should happen. But I think the purpose of a town hall meeting is to just like see what their future plan is as well as their past. And the whole
Right.
time I was like, dude, the person who was conducting the debate hates Trump. I could just tell.
Oh yeah, no, it's very apparent.
Yeah, it's just I was like,
Like,
dude, come on. Like I don't like Trump, but you
no,
gotta, I feel bad
there,
for
there,
him.
yeah, for that, in this one instance, in
Mhm.
this small bubble, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think it was quite fair,
Hmm.
because you're right. I think there were a lot of instances when they switched to doing the voters
Yeah.
and having the voters ask questions,
Yeah.
where they asked a question and then Trump would respond. And
Hmm.
honestly, for the most part, for that section, he responded pretty well.
Yeah. Some of them were good.
But
Like, yeah.
some of them were really good questions, and some of them were actually really good responses. But
Hmm.
right after that, he would just be immediately attacked by the moderator or
Yeah.
interviewer or whatever you want to call her. I'm
Hard
not
hard
sure.
name. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
call her the moderator.
reporter,
By mod.
reporter. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know, but either way, it was just like, let's just try to attack him as much as possible, and
Right.
even more so than I feel like Chris Wallace did at the actual debate.
Right.
Like that was very much stacked against Trump.
I
And
thought
like you said, a
yeah.
lot of what Trump has done he's stacked stuff against himself, and this is
Right.
another situation. But nobody was doing him any favors at all.
Right, exactly, and I feel like she was actively going against him. And here's the thing: like, funny you mentioned Chris Wallace. I used to think Chris Wallace was extremely unfair, right, towards Trump. He was for Biden, but after this time, I was like, yeah, Chris Wallace was
Yeah.
probably very fair. He was a very fair individual. He didn't do anything wrong. Because by comparison, like this lady was just totally balls to the wall, having a shouting match with Trump. Like Trump was interrupting her a bunch, but man, she didn't really like go easy on Trump either. In fact, I think she went harder
No,
than anybody else, and I think Trump fucked up. He fucked up a
no,
lot. Yeah.
no. I think he did, but
Yeah.
it's kind of frustrating because the point of this thing is just to answer questions, is to get
Right.
questions answered that are asked by the voters.
By the voters,
But
exactly.
a lot of this stuff was just the moderator attacking Trump, which is frustrating.
Right.
Because you don't get the information that you want. We know he's gonna defend himself and he's gonna state all these false facts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But at the same time, maybe that's probably was her plan all along, honestly, just to make people hate Trump more. So, and I don't really blame her for that. I don't know.
But I feel like she
it's
took
pretty
away
fucky.
she took away an opportunity for the voters to really get in
Yeah,
touch with
to
Trump.
really get some questions. Yeah,
And there was
get some questions
how
answered.
many people asked questions? Was it like 4, maybe?
Five or I want to say 5 or 6, maybe. I
Was it that
didn't
much?
count how many. It seemed about that because he had a couple of the people that were like paired together, like there was a
Right.
mother and a daughter.
Well, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that counts as 2. Yeah,
So five or 6, maybe 7. It would be my guess.
it
A
was
few of
not
the,
7.
a few, maybe not quite as,
Yeah.
but it wasn't quite enough. There was
Yeah.
a lot of time spent on
Right.
the moderator,
Mhm.
just attacking him,
Right, and
which is frustrating.
And here's the thing. Like Trump made a huge mistake, and what I mean by that is that he refused to debate with Biden for her. She is definitely a
Yeah.
much better orator, much better speaker, much better arguer than Biden by a long
Yeah.
shot. So
Biden was
she's-
too nice.
Right. I mean, well, Biden also wanted to like rip on Trump, but he didn't have the oral skills to do it. He's not orally exposed enough to take down Trump. Roll credits. But that's it. That's the best joke. We're finishing right now. That's a high note. But yeah. So basically, she was able to articulate what she wanted to say, which is Trump sucks. Biden wants to say the same thing, but he's too long in years, and he has never, frankly, been that good of a debater.
It was too polite to really like get in there and get down and dirty like this moderator was
polite.
willing to do.
Exactly. And wow, she was ripping at him. Okay, all right. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure you have a couple more questions asking about the content, but I just want to
Yeah.
say, Trump, dude, like,
No,
what are your guys doing? Like, you arrange a town hall meeting with just Trump on there. It should be a Trump show. It should be everyone getting on their knees and sucking his dick. Trump, how are you so good? How are you so good at being a president? That's what should be happening. But instead, they arranged like a town hall debate with someone who hates his guts on a network that's mostly like
Yeah.
Democratic.
yeah,
Like, what do you
it's
think?
very much stacked against Trump, and not that I'm like a sympathizer or anything, but still, it's
Right.
for this kind of situation, and it goes the same thing for the debates. I want a fair playing field,
Right.
and we're just not going to get that, unfortunately.
Exactly.
The way our system is set up is we're not going to get that. But I'd like to be at least kind of tricked into thinking that might happen every once in a while.
Give an
But with
attempt.
nights like tonight, it's just like, wow, that's never going to happen.
Yeah,
you know,
pretty much not.
like,
And
at
like,
least try to lie.
right, and it's giving Trump an excuse too. Like if Trump loses, and I think it's looking like he will. Like when Trump loses, he's gonna have an excuse. Like, well, everyone's stacked against me. Look at the records. Look at
Yeah.
all that. When history looks back on this moment, they're gonna see a bunch of reporters just ragging on a 74-year-old man who tried to do his best. Like it's not.
I'm afraid of what happens post-election, regardless of who gets elected at this point.
Yeah.
Like, because anyway, we want to get into the actual content. We spent enough time kind of defending Trump in like this particular instance,
Somebody has.
but I do want to
shit.
talk about. Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently we do. I don't. We probably shouldn't, but here we are anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I do want to get into the actual content of what was discussed a little bit. So early on in the debate, and this kind of like frustrated me, Trump mentioned that his lungs might have been infected, but he failed to say with what. He also said that he was not sure if he took a COVID test on the day of the debate, which whatever, that's a little bit more minor. Mainly the infection thing. But I do want to like ask you a little bit, what do you think of like his general response regarding his health?
So, Trump's enemy is not Biden. Trump's enemy is his own record and what he says, his big ass mouth. And so here's the thing: like when a president is up for re-election, he's not fighting against anybody. Like American citizens are looking at his record, looking at his performance, and they're giving him a review. Like we are technically his boss, yeah. And we decide to say, if you're good enough, 4 more years, buddy. Like, finish it out. If you're not good enough, you're fired. Trump probably never thought like the American people would say that to him. But yeah, how the tables turn.
Fired.
my, how the turntables. Yeah. But but yeah, so this is what it is. So Trump hasn't done himself any favors with COVID, and here's where he went wrong. When he gets COVID, he should have been like, "Oh man, I don't feel good, but I'm still gonna work for the American people. I'm feeling down. I have a fever. My lungs might be infected. The doctors might think it's pretty serious. But guess what? I'm going to keep working for the American people. I'm going to still work. I'm going to stay in the hospital. I'm going to work from home. And guess what? Like, I'm not going to let you guys down." He comes out a hero. Like, 2 weeks later, he comes out. He's fully recovered. He's like, "Can't beat me." Everybody watch himself, but he can't beat old Donald Trump. He's going to be a fucking hero. But he didn't do it. He's like,
strength through unity, unity through faith. Yeah. I'm a goddamn Englishman, and I'm goddamn proud of it.
Right? He could have played that. Like, Trump is Trump is
full Louis Prothero. Yeah,
he could have been, and that would have been great. The thing with Louis Prothero is that when I was watching that scene, I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I don't know what's going on. I know it's a fake government, but I'm ready to support that guy, man. I want to watch him. I would watch him every night, dude. Like, there's a reason he's the voice of England. But Trump didn't do that. He's just said, "Oh, the COVID bounced off of me. Like, I'm invincible. I never laid down. I had a little lung breathing." So, like, already people are like, "Yeah, well, nothing happened. Like, he got COVID. He's probably an irresponsible motherfucker." And then he comes out and like, "Yeah, I might have had a lung infection." By the way, he didn't really mention that he might have had one. He said, "So the doctors thought I might have had a lung infection." He never confirmed or denied it. He suggested it. He put it out there.
Yeah.
The buffoon.
Again, why? Why would you do that? Why would you give all that doubt?
Right.
Nobody prompted that. It's just like, here's doubt. I'm handing out free doubt. Have some doubt. I'm Donald Trump. Here's some doubt.
You want to
I might have heard about it. I'm pretty famous for the doubt. Have some more doubt.
Exactly. It's like, you guys want more ammunition against me? Here you go. Here you go. Here's bad facts about me. So that's number one. Yeah,
like,
that's number one.
Let's just fucking hand out doubt like fucking singles. Let's fucking go. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going.
Oh shit! Wow, Wes is rich, buddy. Hey, yeah. If you need, I'm looking for.
I make a lot of money stripping, you guys.
Oh hell yeah, voluptuous man. But yeah, anyways, so that's number one, right? Like, when I heard the lung infection, so I was translating this in real time, and when I heard the lung infection, I was like, "Buddy, like, why would you give that out?" And then he was like, "Yeah, so on the day of the debate, like, I might have taken a test. I'm not sure." I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?"
Just say yes.
Just say you did it, and then have your like fucking quack doctor back you up. I'm sure he would. He's down on his knees every night, like, saying lies for you. He, like, the White House doctor has lied for Trump. Like, he has been caught.
No, Trump lies already.
Yeah,
we know that. There's so many instances of him contradicting himself from like the day after.
Yeah.
So I don't understand in this particular instance why he just invites this like dissent on his own. Like, I don't understand.
Right before he came on stage, he found Jesus, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. But here's the thing, like, he had this moment of honesty, and I honestly think it was a moderator with a, like, piercing reporter gaze. He's like, "I can't lie about this." But the thing is, he has a White House doctor who's so ready to lie for him. The White House doctor, right, says this, like, President Trump has not been on anything that helps him to breathe. He has not been on oxygen. Right when Trump was, like, sent to Walter Reed Hospital, it was like, "Yeah, he is not on oxygen." He said it on Thursday night. He said it on Friday morning. He said it on Saturday morning, and then on Sunday morning, it's like, "Well, actually, on Friday and Saturday, we put him on little oxygen because we thought it might have been necessary." But the day before, he was fucking on video saying that, "No, the president has not had any oxygen." The next day, he was like, "I was bullshitting. I was lying. I just didn't want to panic people." He said that. "I didn't want to panic people." So I was like, dude, you have a doctor who's willing to risk his fucking medical license to lie for you, to, like, kiss your ass. So why won't you lie about this? It would make so much sense. And I was like, yo, now people are gonna say, "You tried to kill Biden, man." Like,
I want to point out that we're arguing about the fact that the president should have lied better. Like, that's the level we're at right now. That's fucked up. That's horrible.
It's messed up. It's just dumb at this point.
Why are we talking about that? What have we become?
Our standards are so low. Seriously, like, Mickey Mouse could be the next president. I think we'll be like, "Yeah, seems about right."
He will be eventually. Let's be real with how powerful the Disney company is. But that's a subject for another time. But I do want to transition a little bit into this helps out this transitions very nicely, I think. It's the best transition. I'm the best person at segues.
The history of transitions, there has been no one better.
Yeah.
I've done more for transitions.
I've done more for segues than any president,
Anybody
except
in
for
history.
maybe Lincoln.
Yeah, except for Lincoln. Like, he liberated all segues. He was the creator and founder and liberator, but I might have done a little more than him.
Speaking of, so what do you think of Trump's general attitude towards the COVID-19 pandemic?
He just, like, from the beginning to now, he's never gotten it right. Here's the thing. It would be the easiest thing for Trump to say, everybody, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear it, like, I'm not going to force you, but wear the mask. It would be the easiest thing, but he can't do it. And the reason is very simple.
There's so much, like, avoiding and evading. It's like, I don't mind masks. You can't take... I'm a big fan, as a citizen of the United States, I'm a big fan of being able to be like, you don't have to pick sides all the time.
Right.
You can vote with your conscience, and you can vote by deciding on issues.
Yeah.
But when you're the president of the goddamn United States, you don't have the luxury of taking that partisan point of view.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to take a yes or no to everything. You really do.
Right. Especially if it helps people, because wearing masks, like, according to most people who are fucking halfway intelligent around the world, wearing a mask helps. And Trump tried tonight he tried to denounce that. He again spoke out against masks. I'm not sure if he caught this, but he's like, 85% of the people who have caught COVID wore a mask. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing, man? Like, obviously they didn't catch that shit. Most of them didn't catch that shit while they were wearing the fucking mask.
What number did that come from? Where did that come from?
I don't know, man. Like, other than his butt.
Hang on, I'm gonna look through all these singles that I just threw out. Maybe it's folded somewhere in here. Nope, it's just dollar bills. It's just American currency.
Yep.
I can't find it anywhere. That's it. I don't understand.
Yeah. So he said that. And here's the thing. Like, it's probably not entirely false. Like, these people who got COVID probably at some point wore a mask. Like, they went outside to wear masks. But then, so some other time they probably, like, took it off when they shouldn't, and then they got COVID. But he tried to take that statistic, and he said masks don't work. No, it's when people don't wear masks right, it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, you can't be wearing your mask. I don't have a mask near me, but you can't be wearing your mask like this.
Right.
You gotta have it over your fucking nose, everybody.
Exactly.
You gotta wear... The mask doesn't work if stuff goes through your mask.
Exactly. And here's the thing. It's not
Does
even
that make sense?
Right, yeah, right.
For everybody in the back.
It's not a chin diaper. It's not a chin diaper. You actually had to wear it over your mouth and nose. Yeah. And here's the most important thing. It's not about protecting you. Like, the mask is not to protect yourself. Yeah. It's to protect other people from catching the fucking disease. So, like, Trump spitting out this, it's an outdated argument. Like,
and it's not even like... I don't get it. I don't get that attitude of one, do it to help people. Even if it was a major inconvenience, I'd say do it to help people. But it's not that major of an inconvenience. It's kind of annoying. Yeah. But that's it. That's all you're getting. It's about as annoying as, like... It's less annoying than walking around with a hangnail all day.
Right. Exactly.
Like, I don't understand.
Much worse than... Actually, I do have, like, I think a likely guess as to why he has a problem with masks. Number one, Trump has this idea that if I agree to masks, Democrats win. Because Democrats said masks before he did. So if he transitioned, it's
like politicized. That is really... Yeah, you're right.
It's politicized. Yeah, so that's number one.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Number two was that he is so afraid of losing the image of a tough guy. Because in the beginning, people were like, well, I don't want to wear a mask. And Trump in the beginning was like, well, you don't have to wear a mask if you don't have to. Well, like, I'm not going to wear a mask. This little disease is not going to scare me. If he wears a mask, in his mind, he's like, he's losing the tough guy image that he built for himself. So that's number two. Those are the two reasons that I can think of. Like, and I think those are it. Like, I really think I'm right on this one.
Yeah, I do not disagree with you in the slightest. I think you're absolutely correct.
Right. Yeah.
At this point, it doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how valid it is scientifically. It all matters how valid it is politically.
Exactly.
And the validity of the political stance is that if you're on the right and you support Trump, then you think masks are a problem.
Exactly.
If you're not necessarily all who support Trump, I shouldn't say that. But the hardcore people, the hardcore people who support him. Right. I'm not even gonna go so far as most, because even I know quite a few Trump supporters living where I live.
Yeah.
And they're still pretty compliant with the mask thing. It's mostly like those in terms of what the Dave. I'm going to bring up Dave Chappelle in every fucking thing. I swear.
I love that guy. He should be brought up. Yeah.
The Tiki Torch Whites. It's mostly going to be the Tiki Torch Whites.
Yeah. Well, the reason that I said
the countrymen, I'm embarrassed to call my countrymen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dude, hey, they exist, man. They're an actual population that are very prevalent in American society, and they are the loudest, and everyone judges Americans by those guys. It's a shame. But the reason why I said I thought most people who support Trump don't wear masks is because if you look at a Trump rally, right? And I guess you can say that mostly like crazy Tiki Torch guys will show up at Trump rallies. Yeah. But if you look at a Trump rally, literally everybody is maskless except for maybe 2. So there are thousands of people over there, and like 2 or 3 are wearing masks. It's almost like a stigma to wear a mask at a Trump rally. If you wear a mask, people are probably going to give you weird looks. And these idiots are gonna make American numbers go up, and they are. You know, American numbers so March. So it starts off here, right? So March, April, May goes up, and then after May, June, July, it goes down a little bit. August shoots way up, and then August and September. And then after September, it starts going down again. Now it's October, and now it's going up one more time, and now it's about 4 times higher than what it was in March and April. Now less people are dying, but I think Trump hosting these rallies with people not wearing masks, 1,000 people rallies, thousands and thousands.
No, I don't think that's how. Yeah, I think you're right.
It's gonna go up.
It's a social thing. It's not based on.
Right.
It's not based on any fact. It's not based on science. It's based on a social stigma against masks.
Right. Exactly.
If in this particular group,
and it's gonna cause actual problems.
Yeah, it's just making things worse, and it's so fucked up that we live in a world where the science like that is disputed.
Anti-vaxxers and the like are just...
No, it's literally like anti-vaxxers have taken over in a way.
Exactly.
It's the same level of stupidity.
And people are listening to them. Like, it's the mob mentality that forces, like, intelligent... Not all anti-vaxxers are stupid. There's some very intelligent anti-vaxxers out there. There's some very respectable people who I later found out are anti-vaxxers. And it's because they adopt this mob mentality, or they've been hoodwinked. It's almost like brainwash.
Some smart people are too smart to realize how stupid they are.
Exactly. Pride, bro, comes before the fall. Yeah.
Speaking of mob mentality, there was a really weird section of the show with talking about QAnon, and which Trump evaded talking about QAnon in a very obvious and very strange and unsettling manner.
Yeah.
And then went on to like discredit Antifa some more, which, depending on who you talk to, is not a real organization, or is. I don't really know.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say, but I just want to we haven't really talked about Antifa or QAnon that much on this show, and I just kind of want to get your we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I just want to talk about it a little bit because QAnon fascinates me. From a purely scholarly interest, it fascinates me.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think, X? I want your thoughts.
Right. Before I comment on QAnon or Antifa, I want to say Trump was doing so well up till that point.
He was doing okay.
Right.
He was doing about as well as you'd expect. I'll agree. Yeah.
Well, here's what I mean by he was doing so well. Like, not that well. But what I mean was, he denounced white supremacists. He went out and was like, yeah, I denounced white supremacy. I denounced it. I was like, fucking finally. But, like, also, good move, buddy. Like, good move. Like, you denounced them. Like, there's no way to question you now. You said it on live television. So many people are watching. You said it. Good job. Yes. Like, you finally washed yourself.
You did it!
So clean. So clean.
Praise Jesus!
Right? Exactly. He's seen the light. Oh my God.
He did it.
Yeah. And then the moderator was like, but wait, there's more. And then she was like, well, what do you think?
Surprise, bitch.
Surprise, motherfucker. But he's like, yeah, there's more. And she whips out like QAnon. Like, she just slaps it on the table. Which is, what do you think about QAnon? And Trump was like, I don't know them. I was like, dude, 2016, people asked you about KKK, and you're like, I don't know them. Who the fuck doesn't know about KKK?
The shitty thing about this is that even if he were to acknowledge and denounce QAnon,
right,
the people who believe in QAnon and that level of cult,
right,
will understand and be like, he's just doing it to save face. It's fine.
Yeah, but he wouldn't do that.
That's how insane QAnon is.
Right. It's like, it's got cult. I mean, they are a cult. And here's the thing. I think we have to talk about the difference between Antifa and QAnon, right? So I actually want to ask your opinion on this first, since I've sort of been like giving my answers. But what do you think is the main difference between QAnon and
Before you do, I do want to point out that when you were talking about how we finally denounced white supremacy, I was literally like typing a question about that while the debate was while the thing was happening. I was like, I'm going to talk about this. He finally did it, and then it went into him denying QAnon, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not talking about that anymore. Guess this is my new question.
Right. And it's just, he made the same, he corrected his mistake, then not 5 seconds later makes the same exact mistake. I mean, buddy, I get it, these people support you just like white supremacists, but you get the fact that they want the Democrats to be beheaded on the White House lawn, right?
No, it's like, yeah, no, I condemn the KKK. Hitler, on the other hand, you know, that guy was a real stand-up human being. I don't know about you.
It's just, he
like,
gets
that's what he did. It's like, kind of on the same, not quite that bad, but still pretty bad. Sorry, ask your question. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
I don't even think you're wrong originally. I think it is that bad. Like, if I were to compare Hitler with a cult, I mean, Hitler, he was sort of a dictator. He was sort of crazy. But like cults, bro, like they're just smaller versions of a worse Hitler's country. Like, so
we can debate on what a cult is in some other episode, because I do have a lot to say about cults.
All right, let's save that. Well, maybe you can answer with the question I'm about to ask you. Main difference that you think between Antifa and QAnon, what do you think it is?
I think Antifa, as an idea, anti-fascist is a good idea. One thing you can say about the kind of far left is that they have a lot better branding, and a lot better stuff like that than the right does. Right. I will say that, and that's part of the reason why the Antifa thing has been so prevalent, and BLM and all that shit too. All those controversial movements. But I will say the idea of Antifa is not bad in of itself. Being anti-fascist is a really good thing.
Yep.
I think the organization. I don't know much about whether or not it's an organization or not. I will say that, but I will say that QAnon, the difference is that it's more of like a grasping at straws and conspiracy theory based sort of thing, whereas Antifa is more based off of like a general feeling of don't let the right oppress us, don't let fascists oppress us. But the QAnon thing actually very largely stems from the flat earth thing.
What?
Which is really crazy. No, I'm serious. There's a lot of flat earth is no. Flat earth has been steadily declining. Like people in the flat earth movement, because they've all been moving over to QAnon. It's crazy. No, it's really it stems from like it's one of the same things. It's the same thing as like the anti-vaxxers or pretty much anything that just like, or any conspiracy, because it's all based on don't trust the official story and don't trust the mainstream media. That's what QAnon is. It's this paranoid idea that everything and everybody's out to get you, but there's this really big, amazing, grand plan, and there's this prophecy that Donald Trump will be our savior. And so Antifa is more, I think, an idea, whereas an idea and some people acting a little bit too strongly in that idea, but an idea that is kind of like rooted in some reality. QAnon is very much rooted in evangelical, far-right, alt-right, Christian, not really Christian, but point of views and
crazy,
ideas. It's very bizarre. That is, I think, the difference. And QAnon, while Antifa and a lot of people who say they are of Antifa are pretty dangerous, I don't think they're more dangerous than QAnon.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's anything more dangerous than just being like, this is my idea, nothing you can say will convince me otherwise.
Right.
And that's what conspiracy theorists believe, and that's what QAnon believes.
Okay, I'm actually super glad that you gave me that history about QAnon because I didn't know about that part. But in turn, I can give you some history on Antifa. So I've actually studied up on it a lot because when it first popped up back in God knows when, like was it March, April, May? No, it was around May or June. It popped up.
It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, right, but like the rise of Antifa with the George Floyd protests. Yeah, so that's when it got brought back. And before I actually never really heard of it. I heard of it like once or twice maybe. So Antifa is, like you said, an idea. So the idea is you're anti-fascist, but it also means you're anti things that you deem to be fascism. Literally anything that doesn't fit your narrative can be fascism. And their main idea is that to fight fascism, you need to go through violence. So the thing is, achieve your goals of anti-fascism through violence, through guns, through any means with force. That's Antifa. It's an idea, it's not an organization. So when George Floyd protests came up, Donald Trump and his PR team had this idea that if we turn these protesters, right, into this terrorist group and slap a name on them, we're going to turn everybody against them. And it's worked, right? So all of a sudden, these protesters were no longer protesters. They became Antifa, they became anarchists, they became terrorists. And now it is an organization. So they started in different places, but I think QAnon and Antifa both are now very similar. Subtle differences, but very, very similar. It's just different origins. So that's Antifa, right? Now they're a bunch of like crazy gun-toting people who like scream the ideals of Democrat, but really do nothing like those. I really don't like those guys because I think they try to justify violence by being part of an organization. So that's Antifa. Not good. And then QAnon. QAnon is straight up a motherfucking cult. It's a cult. There's no way about it. When your belief is that Democrats are like pedophilic Satan worshippers, like pedophiles, sure, I can buy that. A lot of rich, powerful people are pedophiles. Bill Clinton, the Clintons might have been pedophiles because they know Epstein. Epstein definitely supplied young ladies to a bunch of people who have power. I'll buy the pedophiles. But Democrats are Satan worshippers?
I'll take this moment to say Epstein didn't kill himself.
Right. Dude, be careful, man. Come on. Like, we might get shut down again. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna bring that back up. I'm gonna wean myself off of that joke.
Sorry, I don't want to. I've interrupted your rant several times.
No. It's good. I actually like the fact that you put stuff in. Like, you should stop me before I get like too big. But like, their main belief is that Trump is their Jesus, and he's gonna drag the Democrats out on the White House lawn and behead them. That's a fucking cult, motherfuckers. Antifa, at least they're like, we're gonna take a real thing like fascism. We're gonna fight against it. I don't agree with it. I think violence is the cause of all problems, and unfortunately is a solution of a bunch of problems. So they're not a good organization. QAnon is straight up batshit crazy. Like, they're not like, well, there's something that causes these things because of some like political factions. We have the situation. They're like, no, they worship Satan, and I'm like, dude.
No, I think the main thing, you brought it up with the Satan and pedophile thing. I think the main, another big difference is that there's, with Antifa, the narrative is just fascism bad, and we're gonna commit anything we can to stopping fascism, and that's basically where that ends.
Right.
And there's a lot of things where their idea, like a lot of people in Antifa, their idea of what fascism is not necessarily correct or good, or it's very radicalist. But the difference is that most people will be like, yeah, I don't want to be a fascist.
Yeah.
The thing with QAnon is that there's this bizarre and constructed narrative that you have to like dig deep and know about. You gotta like learn about the world tree in Norse mythology. You gotta like go through all the lore in Lord of the Rings. You gotta be Stephen Colbert, but with alt-right. It's fucking crazy. Like, you have to dive so deep. It's insane.
It's got their own universe.
I think that's, I think we kind of agree on this. There's a difference in narrative.
Yeah.
There's a difference in goal, definitely. We can agree on that.
Oh, hell yeah.
But there's more than anything else, there's a difference in narrative.
Exactly.
The Antifa thing leaves room for a lot of different points of view.
Right.
And a lot of different, this perspective. But QAnon is like, this is the perspective. This is what's happening. Right. Donald Trump is Jesus. We're a cult. Join us and help us behead some Democrat pedophiles.
Exactly. Like, at one point, they're two sides of the same coin. It's political faction war versus schisms. Like, one's religion driven, one's like political driven. But like, I will take a political driven war over like a religious one any time of it. If you look through history, the worst fucking wars are religious driven.
Yeah.
100-Year War.
More people have been killed in the name of God than for any other reason. George Carlin.
Yeah, I don't know enough to dispute that, but yeah, like I like George Carlin. I'll listen to him. But yeah, so like it just sucks, and like Trump is just trying to get these guys votes, and I get it because guess what? Like a lot of networks say Trump is 17 points behind Biden. That's almost 20 points. You don't make that up. Like you can't make up that difference. And if Trump right now is like, I want to, like, you're asking me to denounce a group that's going to vote for me? Like, I get it, but they're not worth it, dude. They're not worth it. I get you.
Right? Just out of curiosity, just as like a side point here, do you know how many points he was supposedly behind in the polls when he actually got elected 4 years ago?
We can look that up, but it was not. It was not.
I was just to have, if you happen to know, like about.
It wasn't
near the amount.
It was within 10 points. It was within 10.
Okay.
I think well within 10
so
points.
It was still like, whoa, but it wasn't. If he comes back from this, it'll be even more like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Holy shit, what happened, you guys?
It can't be this wrong. It can't be this wrong. Like, and it makes sense, too. It makes sense. Trump is gonna... He had 200,000 Americans die under him. That's worse than the Civil War. Like, Civil War, Lincoln rode on the backs of, like, a lot of Americans dying to become the next president. But Trump straight up lost 200,000. And, like, it wasn't his fault. Under any government leadership, Democrat, Republican, like the Jesus Party, America would have been hit this hard. Because of American traditions of, like, I'm not going to follow... the law. I'm not gonna follow like the government. Big government sucks.
Yeah.
You tell me to do something, I'm not gonna do it. Anyone who's I think Democrats would have probably.
I don't blame anybody for that attitude.
Right.
When it comes to the subject of public health, is where I disagree. Right. And why I don't, even though I'm a registered libertarian, I don't consider myself to be a true libertarian.
Exactly.
There's a lot of reasons. Yeah.
It's
because. Yeah. I don't, because I don't like doing that, and I wish more people would be okay with. Not doing that. Right. But I do want to talk about that a little bit with what you mentioned, actually, with how the fact that even though Trump has obviously he's not done the best job, and we've lost a lot of people, and that's very sad, and it's horrible that this has happened. We are in a very shitty situation.
Yeah.
However, all things considered, I do think we are in kind of that best case scenario, no matter what.
Pretty much.
But I do. So I want to ask, taking it to a different topic a little bit, but to take Trump's side a little bit here, there is the issue of the rushing of the Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett.
Yep.
And do you think things would have been handled differently if Hillary Clinton wasn't elected? Would a similar situation be handled the same way if Joe Biden is elected?
Right. Okay. So real quick,
do you think there really is that much of a difference in the way Trump handled things?
Right. So number one, let me just briefly talk about like the difference between their both of them handling the pandemic. Number one, I think only Trump would have made the choice to close down travel from China in February. The Democrats would have never in 100 years have done that. They would have waited till the deaths start rolling in, and then they would have shut everything off. They would have shut everything off probably. But because Democrats,
I agree.
Right? Yeah. Like they need that. They can't be seen as racist. That's not their shtick. Their shtick is, I'm on the side of minorities. We shut down like immigration, you're gonna get picked apart by Republicans. You're gonna be picked apart by the media. So it would have been closed down a lot later if Democrats are in tow. So talk about the Supreme Court, right? 100%. Democrats, Republicans, whoever's on there is going to try to stuff their own people into the highest court in the country, because highest court in the country is the only thing that can limit both Congress and the president. They're the law. They decide what the law is. You can't beat the law. That's the beauty of America. That's why, God bless America, it is a land of laws, and the laws are solid.
If only everybody was susceptible to the law.
That's true. That's true. Some people have more wiggle room than others, definitely. But the lowest commoner has a chance to win against the richest man in the country. There's a chance it might not happen.
There is a lot more of a chance than a lot of places.
Exactly. In countries like third world countries, like and including like China or Russia, things like that, big politician, anybody with a lot of power tries to screw you over, you're screwed, buddy. Like there's nothing you can do. You accept your fate and you pray that you die an easier and quick death. But in America, you have chances to fight, and if people get on your side, you have a chance to win. So I think that's beautiful, and everyone's going to try to control the Supreme Court. Doesn't matter who, because there are political reasons. If you get enough liberal judges on there, obviously liberal agendas, aka Democrat agenda is going to pass. If you get enough conservatives on there, obviously Republican agenda is going to pass. So of course you want your own people on there. I wouldn't blame anybody. Yeah. Obama did the same. Something like 29 different presidents had the chance. They did the same. Lincoln didn't do the same, but Lincoln was a badass motherfucker, and we shouldn't judge anybody else by his standard because he was pretty badass. Yeah.
We probably peaked a little bit at Lincoln, honestly. So, yeah.
Orson Welles.
But Trump's over here just being like, I haven't even begun to peak. when I peak, you'll feel it.
The whole world. No.
I kind of figured we'd agreed on that, but I basically think the same thing. I don't think that situation, and there are a lot of things I disagree with Trump on, and that's true. And but most of what I disagree with on Trump is just the fact that I hate politicians. It's not necessarily the fact that I like the stuff that I hate about him is exclusive to him.
Right.
It's everything about him just is more obvious, and it's there in every politician.
Exactly.
They're just more subtle about it. Mm-hmm. And so I think that if Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton or whoever was in this situation and Ruth Bader Ginsburg died and they had the slot to fill the last 6 months of their presidency, then they would have done the same thing.
Exactly. They probably would have waited maybe a couple of days more, but
maybe waited like more than a week.
Yeah,
but
maybe not because it is very close to election. Yeah, they probably would have rushed.
So I don't know. Yeah,
maybe one more day. Yeah, who knows?
So getting into a little bit of a lighter territory, and just so I can calm down a little bit, and hopefully don't have a fucking heart attack in the middle of this live stream.
Let's not broadcast that.
One woman, I actually laughed out loud during this part, and there were a couple of times that it happened where I just laughed out of either because it was funny, or out of sheer madness, or more honestly, probably a combination of both. I think I just kind of went insane during some of this event.
I don't blame you,
but. One very conservative woman who very much fit the model of that conservative woman.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, I don't like the stereotype. I really don't.
Right.
Not when it comes to something serious.
She was white,
like
right?
that.
Then
she was white. She was a Karen. Let's be real.
It was okay. It was okay. You can stereotype white people. It's allowed in America.
No, yeah, I know. But but at the same time, I feel bad bringing this in, but it's very obvious, and so I kind of have to with that. Yeah. Anyway, but the woman began her question. This is one of the voters who asked a question.
Yeah.
Began with saying, "Trump, you have a nice smile. I think you look very good when you smile." And I fucking lost my shit.
Dude.
I literally rolled my head back, laughed maniacally, and then had to rewind the fucking thing because I missed the rest of what she was saying.
What did you think, by the way? Did you think she meant that, or did you think she was winding him up? Because I thought she was winding him up.
I don't know, because she stuck on it for a little bit, and it was just kind of this weird, she was actually attracted to Trump, which I guess there are uglier people, but oh my God. It actually, after I thought about it for a little bit, it was just oh,
yeah,
gross.
Hey, there is a niche of people in the world who think Trump is pretty handsome, and I'll be honest, the guy, he might be a little overweight, but when he was younger, he was all right. I wouldn't say he was extremely handsome.
Like I said, I don't. He's very without the orange and without the weird toupee.
Yeah.
He's average looking. He's not outright ugly. He's
Right.
average looking.
He's okay. His money make him very attractive, but like facial wise, he's all right. I wouldn't say he's ugly. I would say he's average here. Trump is probably like over here, you know, golden hair, rich as fuck, rich daddy, like good, well dressed, right? He has his own brand. I would say he's above average attractive. I was okay, but like the follow up question to that though, I thought she was like just gonna fuck with Trump. Like, this is why I thought she was winding him up, because her question was, I'm an immigrant who came from Eastern Europe because our people were prosecuted to America. I'm like, oh, here we go. She's gonna ask about immigration because Trump is stopping that shit. And then like, so under the DREAM Act, which is what helped us, what are you gonna do about it? Then Trump was like, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of all those. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of the DACA. Like, yeah, people, like, if you want to get in here, like, you have to be good. And like, this lady clearly said we were under religious prosecution. She didn't say we were qualified to come here. She was like, we're being literally fucking killed for our beliefs. That's why I came to America and we're successful. I'm alive today. My head's attached to my shoulders. And Trump's like, yeah, fuck that. Like, we're gonna get rid of that. If you're, like, I don't care who's prosecuting you. If you're not good at math, not good at English, not gonna make me any money, yeah, you can, yeah, I'm sorry, man. Like, we're just, get out. Like, I hate to say this, which is sort of fine, it makes sense. Like, I guess it makes sense. If you're the best country in the world, you can limit who comes to your country. You can accept the best of the best, and I get that. But it's also heartless. You have a woman standing in front of you who's escaped religious prosecution, and you're straight up saying, yeah, under my rule, buddy, you wouldn't have been here, man. You would have been prosecuted. Yeah, you...
I have very few extremist beliefs. Mm-hmm. I think. I'd like to think I do. Maybe some beliefs that I have seem extreme to some people, but... one of the most extreme beliefs that I hold near and dear is that I don't think immigration is an issue. I don't think people should feel. I don't think it should be difficult to enter this country.
Yep.
I don't know about UX, but I think if you spend, I'm assuming you do. Because we grew up in the same generation, we grew up in the same area, that you and I and a lot of people who are our peers spend a lot of time with people who didn't come here legally and are illegal immigrants. We all know a lot of people who are illegals.
They're probably illegal. They're probably illegal. Yeah.
I know at least I know at least a dozen personally.
Well, name dropper.
And probably more than that. And I'm sure, and there are a lot of people around me who know way more. I know that.
Right.
And I don't think, and all those people that I know personally are people that if you were to talk to them like face to face, you would have no problem sharing anything with them.
Right. Good people.
And yeah, they're good people. And and most of them are much better than the average asshole American that's walking down the street.
They have to work hard. They earn what they have.
And but so I don't understand, especially when our country was sort of like, there's this internal idea that is as real as we the people, as real as the Constitution, as real as the Bill of Rights, as real as the Declaration of Independence. That's this idea of, give me, you're tired, you're poor, you're sick, I will take them. The Statue of Liberty has it. There's a reason it exists in the United States. The idea is we are a country of immigrants. We are the unwanted. We are the people. We are the oppressed. We are the people that have always had to struggle and fight for what we want and for what we believe in. And we are not one race. We are one culture. We are a melting pot. That is who we are. That is the idea of America. And so when someone says that immigration is a bad thing and we have to close our borders, even though there might be somebody, like in the very minuscule population, there might be some shitty Muslims or some shitty Mexicans out there. There are way more shitty white people living in America today than there are of any of those two groups living in America, or even trying to come into the United States. That fucks with me so badly, and I hate it so much. I rant over. Your turn to talk, X. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I really,
That was legendary.
I'm fired up right now, man. I really am.
That was legendary. I like it. Actually, I do have a solution to your conundrum. There's a very, very simple sentence I can say that can solve all this. Why do I hate immigrants? And it's 3 letters and is They took a job.
They took our jobs.
Yeah, that's literally it. And it's not real, but it started out as a movement saying these immigrants come in, they take American jobs. Somebody said it wasn't true, but it sounds good, and it made people angry, it riled people up. So now everyone's like, we don't want them to come here because they take our jobs, they don't pay taxes. It's like, yeah, bro, like, in a way, they're paying more taxes.
They don't pay taxes because they had to come here illegally because of the fucking stringent immigration laws. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But like, but they still work, and their employers take like certain like tax things from their salaries. Like their employers pay taxes based off how many employees they have, and like it comes back in somehow. But like that's not even the point. Like the point is like there is just a narrative against these guys, and it's a good narrative to some people. It riles them up. They feel like this land is ours, so we gonna keep it. And now it's this cult. It's like we have this special thing, we don't want to share it. And that's a feeling I think most people would understand. It just does not make it okay. Like, even though I get why they say this, and I do actually think that if you want lawful immigration, like if you want to impose laws, you want to make sure everyone gets here through a process, make sure it's legal, it's all good. Sure, whatever. It's your country, like it's good, it's established. You have that right. It's good. But this anti-immigration sentiment is what's really hurting a lot of people, and it causes racism, right? Yeah, and that's the main thing over here. It's just a narrative. It's a lot of people using people's rage to get their own political gains. Trump got elected because of xenophobia. Like, keep the Mexicans wall. Build a fucking wall. Like, bro, like this ain't the Qing dynasty, bro. Like, you don't have to build a wall, my bro. Like, that doesn't work. Like, fucking the Qing dynasty found out it wouldn't work. France found out it didn't work when we built those turret walls against the Germans, and they just marched around that shit. Who else? The Berlin Wall, like, didn't fucking work. People climbed over that shit. The American Wall has straight up holes in it that I can just throw drugs over. And
it's had holes in it for 20 years.
Yeah. And they're still building more of it, and which is, I guess, it's good. They're creating jobs by building the wall. Like, I guess it's helping the economy, but it's just so dumb, dude. It's like,
we're gonna make China pay for it.
We're gonna make Mexico pay for it. God damn it.
You're paying for that shit, X.
No, my cousins will. I'm a full-fledged U.S. of A American.
Yeah.
I'm one of the guys that say I'm one of those guys. Yeah. Man. I don't want them to filthy.
If pressed, you'll beat up your cousins.
Yeah, exactly, dude, bro. I want to eat, man. Like, I don't care. I'll shit on my cousins. Like, I don't need. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Dude.
But
no. I think I'm sorry I got so fired up there.
It's cool. You have good reason to be.
I'm very passionate about. I do. Okay, we are coming up on an hour here, and we're pretty close. But I do want to close it out with a little bit of a look into the not so distant future, a week from now, about based on what happened tonight. It is a week, exactly a week. Based on what happened tonight, how are you feeling about the upcoming debate? What do you think is going to happen?
Trump better pull a miracle and a half out of his ass, or he's screwed. Like, right now, the first debate, Biden, because he did okay, he exceeded expectations. I would say Biden won that one. I wouldn't say anybody won, but if I had to pick one, I would pick Biden. The second one, Biden 100% won, because the whole night Trump didn't have a chance to say what he wanted to do. He was defending his own record from everybody, especially the moderator. But Biden had a very eloquent, very cheerful, very calm debate where he said a lot of things. So if you look at the two, you obviously would think, wow, Biden, pretty good. Trump, what a mess. And it's not even his fault. It's just people were against him. So these two L's, and here's the third one. He's got to win so big that he makes people forget about the first two. Otherwise, he's screwed.
Okay, so I agree that in terms of people who are trying to decide, I think that most people would actually agree that Biden technically won the first debate. In terms of the second debate, only America lost. That's the only loser. But in terms of the second debate, I think that most people who watch either of tonight's showings are either going to only watch Trump or only watch Biden. And I think that people who are watching Biden are people who are already voting for Biden or heavily leaning towards voting for Biden. And same goes for whoever watched the Trump one. So I don't think tonight is going to be a very good decider. I think the first debate will be better. And the final debate is what most people watch anyway. So I think if anything, next Thursday is still going to be that kind of same level.
Yeah.
If you are informed like us and you watch both, and then you realize that Biden's definitely winning in terms of pure
non-fuck-uppery
and non-fuck-uppery, yeah, then maybe next week holds less sway for you. But I think for the average American, next week is going to be the grand decider for those undecided.
Yep.
So
here's the thing, though. I feel like if there was a swing voter tonight watching, they're probably going to be flipping to both. I think they would probably like Biden more. Not because Trump was like attacked.
No, if they were doing that, then I think probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's just by comparison, it was so much nicer listening to Biden's. Trump was attacking. He was defending himself, but he defends through attacking, right? The best defense is the best offense, and that works most times, but not tonight. Because there was several swing voters that asked Trump questions, and we didn't really talk about this, but I want to mention it. Trump didn't answer any of their questions. There was one question he answered, and he answered it very, very well. It's about raising corporate taxes, and he defended himself eloquently. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about, well, we don't want jobs leaving America. If you tax corporations, they're just going to go to China. I was like, dude, what a great answer. Like, you just solved that conundrum for me. Like, if I was undecided on that, I would probably take your point of view. But then aside from that, like, he didn't really answer anybody's question. He talked, like, on healthcare. Very good job. Right? Healthcare. He was like, well, you're going to get rid of Obamacare, but, like, what do you have to replace that? And he was like,
yeah.
Or we're going to have a great one. We're gonna protect people with prior conditions. He said that, like, 6 times or something. Like, we're going to protect people with prior conditions. And I was like, dude, you said a lot, but you said nothing.
I have a plan. So, okay, so what's the plan? I have a plan.
It's going to be so good. It's going to.
We have top men examining the Ark of the Covenant. Who? Top men.
Oh my God, there's layers to that.
You always got a plan, Dutch.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but that's what Trump did. That's what Trump did. That situation is a little less funny because it's happening to us in real life. But yeah, I don't think he's doing too well. But like, third one, I hope he prepares a lot. I hope if he loses with dignity. And most of all, I hope the moderator, pray to God, is a little fair. Because I don't want Trump to have the excuse that, well, I lost because it was an unfair playing field.
If anything, they should be biased against Biden this time.
Right.
Just to level the playing. I don't know. Don't do that. If anybody happens to be don't do that. No, don't do that.
It's not gonna happen. The media loves Biden. The question he got tonight was very softball. The questions that Trump got tonight was all hardball, and I blame Trump's team.
It was all like, so why are you so evil, President Trump?
Does your mother know that you're gay? Like, which is a true question because you're assuming that they're gay, but like you're asking them to like give them the illusion of choice.
Yeah,
yeah, right.
Stuff like that.
It's that old thing, and like I seriously blame Trump's people. Trump should have been going to like a Trump lover for this. Why did he go to these guys? I don't get it.
I really it's frustrating, especially because obviously with the venue and what was chosen, that a debate could have very clearly easily taken place.
Oh yeah.
And it just didn't. And it was supposed to be in Trump's favor, so he could just rant and rave about all of the stuff he's good at, but it ended up working to his detriment. So I don't really. He really did shoot himself in the foot with this.
He would have done so much better against Trump than against the moderator for tonight. She was feisty.
That was. She did not let up. And I don't blame her for not letting up in terms of somebody who like doesn't want Trump to win.
Right.
As a moderator, you got to do a better job. You got to be more professional.
I blame her a little bit because she is a moderator, like you said, and like you should be professional. And
well, that's what I mean. It's like in terms of pure political motivation, I never get mad at people for like trying to get Trump to answer a question properly. But as a moderator, you have to, let him try to answer the question.
Exactly,
from
the people.
If pressed, let's be real, he probably wouldn't have anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But
so
at least let America see that,
Yeah.
I really wanted to see people like ask Trump questions tonight, and I don't think I got that. First 20 minutes was all just them going back and forth. And I'm like, dude, come on, like, am I watching the wrong show?
Not enough time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not enough time.
Well, that's about all I have to say.
Speaking
I feel
of not
like my
enough time.
blood pressure. I think my blood pressure is. Yeah. I
Through the
think my
roof.
blood pressure is high enough. I need to go take some Valium or some shit, or smoke a little weed.
Sounds
One
like
of
a
the
good
two.
time.
Maybe both. We'll see.
Exactly. Good
Don't do
crossfade.
drugs, kids. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
do not
I'm
do
not
drugs.
gonna do
There are
that.
no kids watching this, but yeah,
Yeah.
don't do drugs unless
I'm
you're in college.
I'm gonna go drink with my friends and eat some pizza. So
Yeah.
that sounds like a good way to do
Yeah.
end things.
That is good. That is good. All right, hey, sign
And
us off.
on that note, thank you for tuning in to Oral Exposure. I hope you enjoyed the show. I realize it was a little bit more chaotic than usual, but I had a lot of fun being angry, as one often is. There's a reason you like Gordon Ramsay, right? Anyway, that's all I want to. That's all we really have to talk about. Join us next Friday. Would be my guess when we talk about the aftermath of the final debate.
And don't forget, Saturday we have an episode of The Den. Watch our talented friend Aiden paint a painting. Also, our equally talented friend, maybe a little less talented, Wes paint a figure.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean it's not even an insult because Aiden went to school for painting.
Yeah.
So
no,
I'm far less talented in that range now than either of them. So yeah,
I learned how to paint from a nurse in training.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ooh,
that's my skill set.
Yeah, I just make dick jokes on there. Yeah, I don't paint shit. So like I'm by far the least artistic out of all three of us. But yeah, come watch us.
Seriously, thank you for watching us. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, have a good night, everybody.
Bye.